They say a dream without wisdom is like a bird without wings. It can never fly. But what happens when that dream becomes the very thing that strangles you? Across villages, towns, and cities, millions of young people are chasing dreams. Dreams of greener pastures, wealth abroad, fame, or quick success. Yet, many never return to tell the tale. Not because they were lazy, not because they didn't believe, but because they didn't see the danger hiding behind the desire. Today, I want to talk to you about the dream that shocked me. A powerful story from the life-changing book, The Shocking Dream, written by Mr. Mechi Ogalago, which is me. It is not just a story, it is a mirror. One that reflects the pain, hope, and the hard lessons of every dreamer who ever left home in search of a better life. In this incredible book, The Shocking Dream by Mechi Ogalago paints a vivid picture of how ambition, when not guided by wisdom, can lead us into the very pit we were trying to escape. The story follows Ugonna Eze, a young man from Nsukka whose burning desire to rise above poverty pushed him into a journey that will test his faith, his strength, and his very soul. But here is the message buried deep inside his pain. Not every open door is divine. Some lead straight into the darkness. This isn't just about Ugonna. It is about all of us who have ever chased a dream so fiercely that we forgot to count the cost. By the end of this message, you will understand one thing clearly. Dreams don't just need desire, they need direction. And when passion outruns preparation, even the sweetest dream can shock you. Now, before we talk about Ugonna's story, imagine this for a moment. You are tired of struggling. You have worked hard, prayed hard, and still nothing seems to change. Everywhere you look, someone else is doing better. Traveling abroad, building houses, posting pictures of success. You start to feel left behind. The pressure mounts. Your parents' eyes are heavy with worry. Your friends mock your pace. And the voice around you keep whispering, leave, go. There is nothing for you here. So you begin to plan your escape. You believe your freedom lies in a faraway land. But what if the road you are rushing towards leads not to glory but to grief? That's where Ugonna's journey began. A dream so bright it blinded him to the danger ahead. Now, let's dive deep into the story. The story called him Ugonna Eze, the only son of his parents, Papa and Mama Ugonna. He said, I was born and raised in Nsukka, a small town where the sun seemed to rise late and set too early, leaving the people trapped in the shadow of poverty. Life here was like a stubborn stain on white cloth. No matter how hard you scrubbed it, it refused to leave. From the moment I could understand the language of hardship, I knew our family was swimming in troubled waters. My father was a peasant farmer, tilling the red earth with a callous hand from dawn to dusk. Yet our dining table hardly knew the taste of meat. Mama roasted corn by the roadside, praying for kind-hearted passers-by to buy, while I hugged sachet water under the blazing sun. I grew up hearing one parable over and over again. A child who refuses to leave the mother's back will never know how far the road is. Those words clung to my heart like tick on a dog's ear. They whispered to me every night as I lay on our torn mattress, sharing at the zinc roof patched with old cement bags. At 27, I was no longer a boy, but a man whose youth was wasting like rainwater on a sandy ground. My mates were building houses, driving cars, and sending their parents on pilgrimages to East Jerusalem. The village had become a cruel judge, pointing fingers at those who had nothing to show for their years. The worst torture was the endless stories. Stories of Ndubisi who crossed the Mediterranean and was now sending dollars home every month. Stories of Ikenna who built a mansion in just 2 years after making it to Italy. These stories dance around my head like a hungry mosquito at night, refusing to let me sleep. Ugonna, when will you wipe shame from your parents' faces? Mama would lament, her eyes wet with disappointment. The snail that refuses to leave his shell will die of hunger, Papa would add, shaking his head. Their words pierced through my heart, leaving behind wounds that no medicine could heal. I knew they meant no harm, but each sentence pressed me deeper into the pit of frustration. One Harmattan evening, I sat under the old Udara tree by our compound, staring at the rusty lantern that flickered weakly like my dreams. That was when the thought first took root in my mind: Europe. If others could make it, why not me? I asked myself. It was a question that would become both my strength and my downfall. Every evening, the village boys gathered at Mama Shinyere's beer joint to talk about Europe. They called it the Golden Land. The way they painted the picture, it seemed as if money grew on trees there and everyone walked on streets paved with gold. Once you reach Italy, you have made it, one would boast, puffing cigarette smoke into the air. Even if you beg for food there, your pocket will still be heavier than a village chief's own here. Another would add, his eyes twinkling with deceitful hope. I swallowed their words like hot pepper soup, letting them warm my cold heart. I began to see Europe as the only ladder that could lift me out of poverty. But what they never told me was that not all that glitters is gold. At night, I would close my eyes and see myself in Italy, driving flashy cars, sending dollars home, and wiping the shame off my parents' faces. The dream became a fire burning within me, hot, restless, and consuming. I tried my best to bury the thought, but how can a man ignore hunger when the smell of food is everywhere? One day, after another long night of counting ceiling holes and battling hunger, I made a decision that would change my life forever. I was going to Europe by any means necessary. The journey was like chasing the shadow of a bird in flight, dangerous, uncertain, but tempting. I knew the road was not smooth, but hunger has a way of defining a man to wise counsel. When I told Mama of my decision, she cried until her wrapper was soaked. Ugonna, do not follow the road that swallows men, she begged, clutching her rosary. Mama, no fish becomes big by swimming in shallow water, I replied, trying to sound brave. Papa only looked at me and said, if the goat refuses to listen to the hunter's whistle, it will end up in the pot. But these words fell on deaf ears. My mind was already made up. I began to save every naira I made from hawking. I ate once a day, wore the same clothes for months, and avoided anything that could cost me money. My friends called me mad, but they didn't know that a man whose house is on fire does not chase rats. Every night I would kneel beside my bed and pray to God to bless my journey. But deep down, I knew I was playing dice with death. But deep down, I knew I was playing dice with death. The middleman who arranged the journey was known as Alhaji Musa, a man whose name tasted bitter on the lips of many. He was the gatekeeper of Europe, but behind his smile lay 1,000 graves. When I handed him my hard-earned savings, he only smiled and said, Europe, they wait for you, my brother. I believed him. On the night before my departure, Sleep refused to visit me. The dream that once filled my heart with hope now sat heavily on my chest like a stone. I tried to convince myself that everything would be fine, but a small voice kept whispering, all lizards lie flat, but only God knows the one suffering from stomach pain. By dawn, I hugged my mama tightly, feeling her tears soak through my shirt. Go well, my son, she whispered. I will return a rich man, Mama, I promised. Though I wasn't sure if I believed my own words. As the bus rumbled away from Nsukka, I stared at the dusty road, stretching ahead. My heart was heavy, but my mind was fixed on the distant dream. I didn't know what I was about to enter, a world where dreams are choked before they bloom, and where many who live never return. If you ask me, what lessons have we learned from this story? Ugona's story is more than a tragedy, it is a warning. He wasn't foolish, he was desperate. He believed that leaving home was the only way to save his family. But in chasing that dream, he ignored the wisdom of those who loved him most. And that's where so many people go wrong. The lesson is very, very clear. A dream not guided by knowledge will become a nightmare. In life, ambition without preparation is self-destruction in disguise. Many people today are shocking, not because their dreams are wrong, but because their timing, their planning, or their motive is misplaced. Ugona teaches us that success without direction is like fire in the dry grass. It burns bright, but it burns fast. You see, there is nothing wrong with dreaming big, but there's everything wrong with dreaming blindly. Now, what can you do to make sure your dream doesn't choke you? Number one, seek knowledge before you leap. Before you pursue that opportunity, that business, or that journey, study it deeply. Ask questions. Learn from those who have gone ahead. 2, don't let pressure dictate purpose. Never move because others are moving. Move because you have heard your own call, counted the cost, and prepared your path. Number 3, honor the voice of wisdom. Sometimes the advice that sounds like fear is actually protection. Listen to your mentors, parents, and trusted elders. Number 4, build your dream where you stand. You don't need to cross oceans to succeed. Prosperity begins with vision and discipline, not location. Number 5, pray, plan, and prepare. Faith without strategy is fantasy. Even divine dreams need divine direction. Remember, a dream becomes destiny only when it is guided by discernment. So, if this story has touched your heart, if you have ever stood at the edge of a big decision and wondered what to do, then you need to get your copy of The Choking Dream by Meche Ogalagu. This book is not just a story, it is a revelation. It speaks to the struggles of our generation, the hunger to escape, the desperation to succeed, and the wisdom we often ignored until it is too late. It is a guide for every young dreamer, every hustler, and every parent who wants to understand the true cost of ambition without direction. Don't just chase your dream, learn how to breathe through it. Get your copy of The Choking Dream today and let its lessons prepare you for the success that will last. Before I go, let me leave you with this final thought. The dream that feeds your hunger can also choke your destiny if you chase it without wisdom. So don't let desperation blind you. Don't let comparison push you. Don't let ignorance drown you. Your future doesn't begin in another land. It begins in your mind. I am your friend and motivator, reminding you, dream big but think deeper. Run fast but watch your path. And above all, never let your dream become the reason you stop breathing. Thank you for watching this video. Please, if you have learned a lot of things from this video, don't hesitate to share this video. Make it to go viral so that our young people and old people that have ambition to make it big outside the shore of this country will understand the implication of rushing into it without planning. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you get a copy of my book, and God bless you.